There are nights when silence breathes softer than a prayer, and yet within that hush, your name stirs like a flame that refuses to fade. I find myself tracing the constellations. The air remembers your warmth, the echo of your laugh, and even the pause in your breath when our eyes last met beneath the trembling moon. Every minute stretches into an eternal shin. The world outside fades its crowns, its duties, its perfection, and I am only aware of the truth that burns quieties its perfection. The night wraps itself around me heavy and tender, as though it understands that you are both my ache and my peace. I dream of your voice, how it trembles between certainty and longing, and wonder if it still calls for me. In the quiet hours when the world grows still, I press my palms against my chest. Sometimes I whisper your name into the dark, not to summon you, but to promise that I haven't forgotten. Love to me is not the grandness of ceremony, but the simple rebellion of two hearts beating toward each other. I hold that defiance in my heart, as carefully as a monarch guards her crown. But yours is the kingdom I would rather reign beside. The stars look different since I met you, as though their light learned to imitate your gaze. They do not shine, they shimmer with patience and grace, as if knowing I will look to them when the ache grows unbearable. I imagine your hand reaching for mine, fingertips brushing me. Love lives so soft, eternal pulse, love lives a soft eternity. I close my eyes and let the world dissolve, surrendering to the delicate rhythm of your imagined heartbeat. I used to believe love demanded perfection, now I see it thrives in our imperfections, in the spaces between words, in the pauses where truth hides quietly waiting to be found. The memory of your touch has become my most precious inheritance. Even the simplest brush of your hand across mine replays in endless echo, haunting the seams of my solitude. I never meant for my heart to betray its discipline untold. Kamating Gefise. I walk through gilded halls, crowned in duty, but inside my thoughts are bare and trembling, shaped only by you. Sometimes I think the universe conspired to place us in the same moment, and that despite the storms, it continues to hold us there. When I wake before dawn, before the first light claims the sky, there is a hush that feels like devotion. It is in that fragile hour that I feel you most. I imagine your breath against my neck, your hand tracing slow promises down my arm, and the quiet becomes holy. I used to fear love's power. The crown of night glimmers above me, jeweled with memory, and I offer it silently to you for all the ways you've changed me. There is no distance that can erase the truth of our connection. Even time hesitates when it waffles. Love is no longer a word. It is a word we build, invisible but enduring, carved from whispers and light, and in every heartbeat, I find your name. I have learned that love does not always shout, sometimes it waits. Patient and quiet, beneath layers of restraint, yours has become that constant and invisible tether that pulls me closer, even when the world intoyed. Nights have turned into secret ritual, letters I never sent, dreams I never decoded. I can stand before nations, yet tremble at the memory of your hand against my heart. You are my calm in every storm, the song hidden beneath royal silence. The moon has become my confidant, she the cold air, wrapping me in her silver understanding. I tell her how your absence burns, brighter than your presence. Sometimes I wonder if you feel her light too, somewhere. Beneath the same indifferent sky, you look up and remember me. There is beauty in that thought, Taifidif. Somewhere, beneath the same, if you fees, you are the echo that follows every prayer. The reason I still believe in something larger than destiny. Even if fate divides us, love remains my rebellion, fierce, dignified. I have written you 1,000 letters in my mind, each one folded in the language of yearning. None of them will ever be sent, but perhaps you already know their content. I imagine your fingers brushing I Eber I major. The Cassinger, let love could survive in silence, nourished I imaz. It is then that I remember how fragile time is, how cruelly it teases us, with glimpses, forever. When I walk through the gardens at dusk, I imagine your voice in the window sags. Yet there is peace in the ache now, it no longer wounds, but hums like a promise unforgotten. I used to think love needed to be spoken aloud, but now I see that silence can carry it further. I wonder if you too feel this gentle haunting this. Centuries to fade, the night carries us quietly through its infinite embrace. Every time I close my eyes, I return to the night. You first held my hand, the air trembling, the world pausing as though in awe of our discovery. Your touch was an awakening, a quiet fire that mellowed the distant. 'Tis, hide you, I have carried that spark ever since, hiding it beneath layers of formality, guarding it like a fork and the dent. If I could, I would trace your name across the night sky, let the universe see what my heart has known all along, that you are not simply a memory but a pulse within every dream I dare to keep alive. Sometimes I imagine us betrothed, mud as two souls, unburdened by two souls, unburdened by exposed souls. I would tell you how you've lived in my every heartbeat, how your might still demand its masks, its poised perfection, but in that moment I would let it all fall away. Love, after all, is not about possess, and I have never stopped believing in you. Even when time tried to erase you, my heart redrew you endlessly, stubbornly, in every quiet space where light still lingers. I sometimes wonder if love is made of lighted, and a softness that sheltered. You were the morning that broke through my defenses, and the twilight that soothed thy restless soul. I speak to you through the spaces begwash. Do you feel them? Do they brush against your dreams? I imagine your answer in the way the wind shifts, in the way my heart suddenly calms. So I keep believing that somewhere beyond the edges of time, you and I are still dancing beneath the same moon, unafraid, unbroken, and beautiful. The word calls me royal, but love has humbled me into something far truer. When I think of you, I am no longer a princess draped in expectation. I am a girl with a trembling heart. You taught me the courage of vulnerability, the power of gentleness, the grace in surrender. I have carried those lessons through that hap, even in the solitude of duty. I find you in the smallest miracles, the way candlelight trembles, the way rain softens stone. You are the quiet rebellion within my composure, the endless warmth I cannot name. I have stopped fighting the truth that love once found, that can't pick days, would it stump before crowds, their eyes upon me. I still feel yours, most gentle, steady, sea, falls. Sometimes I fear forgetting, but then I realize love, like ours, is immune to fading. It becomes part of the soul's fabric, woven before, the way you shaped me without even trying. Every kindness you offered, at the silence you shared, will stay. The night has grown long, yet it feels kind, perhaps because I filled it. Those moments are my sanctuaries now, each one glowing like a lantern in my mind. You were never a fleeting dream, you were an awakening, and though fate has written us on separate lines, I wonder if you've learned to live with the same ache, the same soft fire that refuses to dim. If so, then we are still bound not by touch, but by knowing. The night will end, the stars will dim. When morning comes, I will wear my crown again, stand before the world with the poise they expect, but within, I will still carry the night we built, the one lit by your touch. They will see grace, I will feel you. That is how I have learned to live between the seen and the sacred, between what is mine and what is meant. Love, after all, is not about ownership. So if you ever wonder whether I still think of you, the answer is in every light that flickers at dusk, every tear that glistens, not from sadness, as from the young basins